The mission behind Northwest Passages has always been to get Spokane talking about ourselves, our ideas, and our community's future. Spokane is a great book town. The idea was, how do you use books as a jumping off point to talk about much bigger things? What if we get a whole bunch of people in a room who wouldn't normally be in a room together and have them talk about our community when they might not even realize that they're talking about our community? Our first Northwest Passages event nearly 6 years ago set the tone perfectly. It was for a book about the reintroduction of wolves into Yellowstone, and let's just say it was a crowd that wouldn't normally hang out together. The response was better than we ever could have imagined. They asked questions, they looked each other in the eyes, and they realized they had way more in common than they had different. It's exactly what we were trying to do. We saw people talk about things they would never talk about, which has been the point all along. It was also about showing the value of local journalism again, how our reporters serve this community, reminding people why they love their newspaper for generations. Northwest Passages has become one of the most popular event series in the Pacific Northwest and one of the largest newspaper-driven book clubs in the nation. More than 30% of our newsroom's payroll is covered by the Community Journalism Fund. It's funded local journalists and journalism projects that simply wouldn't and couldn't happen without strong financial support from our region. Newspapers are the lifeblood of local journalism. Newspapers typically employ more journalists than the rest of the local media market combined. Preserving those local journalists is an essential part of keeping democracy healthy in our country. Our speakers are interviewed live on stage by reporters, editors, or columnists from the Spokesman-Review, giving a first-hand perspective of how our journalists conduct the interviews that bring them the news 365 days a year. It's true newspapers act as a fourth estate, but they also educate, unite, and inspire communities by holding up a mirror, letting a community truly see itself. That's exactly why these events and the Community Journalism Fund have become such an essential part of how journalism will not only survive, but also thrive in Eastern Washington and North Idaho. What if we could use books to talk about school safety, or environmental issues, or the return of hate, or complicated racial issues, or Native issues, or the importance of free speech, or healthcare, or even modern family life? What's it like to bring in one of the world's most famous authors to talk about education as empowerment? Or bring in a famous television travel guide so that we can better understand international politics? Or maybe it's just a great cowboy story that reminds us just how fun it is to let words take us someplace we never imagined. You never leave a Northwest Passages event feeling sad or beaten down. You feel inspired. You leave knowing you can still make a difference. You're also helping us redefine what local journalism looks like. This is journalism that's all about a community having a discussion with itself. And we can't wait to hear what you're going to have to say tonight. Welcome to Northwest Passages.
Okay, so I'm over here. My name is Rob. I don't know who narrated that. But we are here because we are celebrating both our Black Voices event. This is the third year we've done it. And we are bringing back the Black Lens. We've been working on that for a year. And it looks good. I can't wait for you to see it. We're going to be talking about it tonight. But I got to tell you some stories here. So it returns this Sunday. But there's some things we got to talk about before then. Here, let me get this. I'm not always good, but there we go. We're going to talk about Black Joy tonight. And when we do the Black Voices event every year, we always pick a topic. And by we, it's actually April. Is April out here? April? So I actually, I'm going to go back on stage here. Let me fix this here. We are going to talk about that. So, and I want to bring April up. So if you didn't know this, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, come on up. All right.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you guys for coming. So I'm April Everhart, and I'm a member of the Links Incorporated, which is a historically Black women's organization, and I'm the Services to Youth Chair.
And I'm Shalina Armstrong, the current chapter president.
So, thank you. This is my second year helping with the Black Voices Symposium. My first experience was 3 years ago when 2 students from Shada Park High School submitted work, and I was helping one of the students submit their work. I'm just thankful to Amber Dodd, who asked me to participate in keeping it going. So I just want to say that I'm very grateful because I'm a college and career counselor, but I'm also an English teacher. So this kind of fills my cup, and the creativity of it all really inspires me. I came up with the theme Black Joy because a lot of times in African American literature or even movies, we look at the struggle, right? We look at the struggle, and I was actually in a book study group, a book group, and a comment was made is like, it's so heavy. It's so heavy. The things we read and we teach, it's so heavy, and it's true. Struggle is real, but I thought of my grandmothers. I thought of those who came before me in my own family. And I know that life is hard. Who knows life is hard? But I know that they made it through. So I said, we're going to celebrate Black joy because we made it through. We carried over. We're still here. And every day, there's something to celebrate. There's joy. And we need to realize that as well as the struggle. So that's how I came up with the theme of Black joy. And I want to say that the Links did the workshops at the Carl Maxey Center to get some kids inspired and stimulated to produce work. This is our second year doing that. I'm impressed every year. And in fact, my grandmother passed away on December 27th back in Pennsylvania. And I was working with Natasha because I wanted to write some things for the Black Lens, and the theme had already come. And as I was preparing to go back to Pennsylvania, I was like, I'm gonna write on Black joy because I need a little bit of Black joy in that particular experience because it was not an easy visit home. And when we'd done 2 workshops, and I had started looking at the art and getting ready to submit, and when I was looking at the work, it inspired me. It gave me joy even in that heaviness. It's inspired me so much that I created a piece of my own through the grief that I went through for the week I came back. So I just want to say the young people inspired me this year because the work is beautiful. A lot of younger students participated in the workshops. We had some high schoolers who will be on stage, but out in the foyer, please take a look at the work. I was impressed. The masks were very awesome. So thank you very much. That's how I came up with Black joy. It's a state of mind. It's not about what's on the outside. It's about what's on the inside of us to carry us through. And good.
And I just wanted to share that the local chapter of the Links Incorporated was just proud to be a partner and collaborate on this. It really focuses on some of the key things that are important to our group, which is 1, empowering and educating our youth, and secondly, really growing the arts in our community and fostering that. And this is just a perfect collaboration, and we appreciate the opportunity. So thank you.
So we have always put the artwork and poems and essays in the Spokesman, but I couldn't do that this year. It had to be in the Black Lens. So our first issue comes out this Sunday, and the Black Lens, we forget that it didn't have a large subscriber base. It had 700-800 people, but yet think of how powerful that was. I mean, that audience could make crap happen, you know? So I thought, wow, what if we could send the papers to places like Kellogg, Idaho? I'm just joking. I shouldn't have said that out loud. The point is, the circulation of the Black Lens is now 60,000. Tomorrow, when we have our big party, Senator Cantwell is flying here, and she's a huge proponent of not only journalism, but all sorts of journalism. And she is so proud to know that one of the highest circulating Black newspapers in America now is in Spokane, Washington. Now, look about that. We're pretty white. Yeah. So that means the message here is different. Like, how do we bring everybody into this tent now? So that's what this is going to be about tonight, and I'm just so excited. I mean, I've been working to try to bring back the Black Lens, working with the Williams family for so long, and all along we knew it had to coincide with this event. So let me pull this over here. So we're going to bring, you know, you're going to bring up Cheney. but we had to, and I'll show you why we had to here in just a second here. This is a really important piece that you guys are going to need to know. Let's see here. That's Sandy Williams' senior photo at Cheney High School. So I want to tell you a story about Sandy at Cheney High School. So she was a junior, and she already understood what was fair and what's not fair. And she was upset because they wouldn't let women students at Cheney High School be in shop class. You could be in home ec, but you couldn't be in shop. And you know what? She didn't really want to do home ec. She wanted to do shop. And so she wrote a letter to the principal and the school board. And they said, she's right. We should let everyone be in shop. So 17-year-old Sandy Williams found out early that her words could change things. So I love that. So it's not that weird then. And you think that if we're going to celebrate Black Joy, we're going to bring in her alma mater, and we're going to bring in the Cheney High School Student Union STEP team to open everything tonight.
If you let shit slide, ain't bad if you gotta ride. Big guns and a lot of zip ties. Said she look like me, quit lying. Don't stop, don't stop the beat, don't stop, don't stop the beat, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop the beat. We gon' spin and kill everybody, everybody, and we're telling all. We gon' spin and kill everybody, everybody, and we're telling all. Hey yo, all these bitches on my spent another bag on my. Nah, you ain't the new. Every whip heavy on it new. Shorty mad cause she ain't no. Pretty face with a Barbie doll. Another year, another Vince Lum. Neutralize. Trigger. Shoot. Fire.
Fire.
Don't stop. Don't stop.
Fire.
Don't stop.
Fire.
Don't stop. The beat can't stop. Can't stop the beat. We gon' spin and kill everybody. And we're telling now. We gon' spin and kill everybody. And we're telling now. I ain't tryna be buddy. I'm a multi-million-dollar home. Hollow points finna go through your washing them bitches bathing. He be kissing all over my. Get his dick stiffer than a roll. Another year, another Vince Lum. Don't stop, don't stop.
When you tell stories, that speaks to the right side of the brain. That's the creative part. That's the empathetic part. That's the part of the brain that connects with people. I think the power in storytelling is that we connect with people's hearts. I've learned over the years that nobody changes until their heart changes. You can give them all the information. You can give them all the justifications, but until their heart gets it, till it hits here, doesn't really matter. And so stories go there.
You're going to hear some stories tonight. And when you're thinking about this, it's like, how do we not include the black lens in a big way? And this would be, it's hard because this was a good friend of mine. And over the last few months, this has become a good friend of mine. She wears a lot less flannel than the other one, though. But this week I got to see the first black lens in 2 years get printed. And I had goosebumps, and I want you to see a little bit of what that was like.
The Black Lens is important to Spokane because it's the only Black community newspaper that we have. What our founder, Sandy Williams, was able to do is use our news as a way to get the word out. And historically, that's how Black folks in America have been able to be connected, is through word. Initially spoken word, but then once we had the ability to read and write and get our voices out that way, it is important that we have this as a way to connect our community across this region. The Black Lens has a separate viewpoint from the mainstream because it does give a Black lens. When you hear stories from Black authors and Black writers and you hear their perspective and their voice, it's going to sound different. And so I think it's important that we do have that Black experience and that Black voice on issues so that folks from the Black community can feel connected and understand why it's important and how it's going to impact them and their community. We want to keep that aspect of education and information and opportunities for people to really use this as a platform for advertising and promoting their business, for people to ally with the Black community, and just bring some Black joy to Spokane. We've always got lots of issues to talk about. There's always going to be problems to solve. I really see the Black Lens building off the foundation that Sandy created, and any changes that come along the way are going to be changes that are shaped by this community. So again, this paper can be what Spokane and Spokane's Black community needs it to be. We're not going to be afraid to talk about the issues and tell stories.
Wow, I'm finding myself in a very new situation and wearing a really
cool new title. It's an honor to be here with all of you, and I thank all of you for being here tonight to celebrate some Black joy. We have some amazing, talented students here with us tonight that are going to share with us some really beautiful pieces. Really appreciate Northwest Passages partnering with us here at the Black Lens in order to put this on. We thank the Links as well. I was able to be a part of one of the workshops that they hosted at the Carl Maxey Center. And so to see this all come together, see our community lifting up and supporting Black youth and celebrating Black culture here during Black History Month, let's get into it. That's what we're here for tonight. So I've got our first artist up for the night, Tejanae Hayes Cormier. She is a junior from Rogers High School. Her Name is Joy was written by Tejanae. It's a piece about where Black joy is found in everyday life and the different ways it may be experienced. Tejanae is mixed race, like myself. Outside of their relationship with their identity, they find joy in going to the theater club, performing in musical plays, and her hope is to be on Broadway at least one day before settling back down in Spokane. I really admire that hope and dream, and I believe that you can get anywhere from even the small platform that we have here in Spokane. And so we would love to hear you share your piece with us tonight.
Thank you so much. Where are the places you seek her? I think lately she's been hard to find. I come across her as the women of my past have before. When the days are long and hot, I hear her in their songs. I breathe with the same nose my father's family has shared for generations. When I brush my curly hair, she's combed in there too. I see her in the mirror, big brown eyes and brown skin. Although I tend to forget about these gracious gifts Black joy has given me, she returns. Arms outstretched like summer, she's everywhere. And comes back with the force of the sun as it rises and sets. Where do you find Black joy? Thank you.
So I definitely want to ask, what inspired this piece for you?
Well, a few things inspired this piece for me. I was suggested to write it by my African American literature teacher, Miss Egley. But as I was sitting down to write and thinking about the things that bring me Black joy, I was like, what are the things, like, what does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it look like? And when I think of the ways I experience Black joy, I experience it within myself and my everyday experiences and just getting to live the life as a Black woman.
That is really beautiful. I think it's really impressive, to see you here as a young person, just being able to express yourself in that way and really dig deep into that. Why don't you tell us just a little bit more kind of about yourself, like what you're doing now and where you see yourself, going after high school?
Well, if you couldn't tell, I really like theater. So I see myself on stages somewhere. I have done work at the Civic Theater and as well, hoping to do work with the Blue Door as well. Things like that. And then coming home and settling down and hopefully opening my own theater.
Awesome. I love how you shouted out some of our local theaters and great opportunities for students to get involved, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure you've got some folks maybe here or that helped you get here that you'd want to shout out and show some love to tonight.
Yes, I would love to. I would like to thank my mom, Amber Hayes, for making me a Black woman. And I would like to shout out my sister, Kylie, for being an amazing Black woman. Love you guys so much.
Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we've got our next artist coming up, Cyan Armstrong. Cyan is a freshman from Ferris High School, and with her is her sister, Isa, and brother, Thomas. This is her actual second year participating in Spokane's Black Voices Symposium. She will represent her brother and sister, who are also freshmen at Ferris. Her piece is called Sunsets and Freedom. Isa is capable, and Thomas is resilient. I'm going to kind of point to your pieces there. You see them?
Yeah, I'll see
the corner up here.
Down there.
So, what is it about your piece that brings you joy?
It's just the simplicity of it, because life now is just so complicated that you just need some time to just enjoy the little things in life and just wind down.
I like how you say that, finding simple things, and your art brings you that, despite all the things that are going on in the world. What is it about, oh, we took our picture away too soon. Some of this, you had some sunsets in there in terms of, you know, what it is in your painting, your picture there that evokes Black joy, in your opinion.
Just all the colors, and it represents how we all are different shades, and none of us are the same, but we're all one people.
Beautiful. The diversity within our Black community, right? We have a color spectrum, you know, light to dark, and that's something to be celebrated as well. Is there anything you want to share about your brother and sister here that are here with you tonight?
Oh, yes. So, so my brother is a very good basketball player. He was taught by my father, who was actually a college basketball player as well. And my sister is, as you can tell from her amazing artwork, she is an art person. She has taken the art gene from my dad and passed it to her. The art gene skipped a generation. When it comes.
And I'm going to go ahead and ask if each of you want to share something quickly that brings you Black joy.
Me personally, that brings me Black joy is just the community in general, and like how we fund all these events.
Thank you, that's beautiful, the community in general and supporting these events.
I guess what brings me Black joy is seeing everybody come together and just make a big community. It's something you normally wouldn't see, and something that sometimes you just kind of need.
You know, I see a lot of bravery up here too, because I know at your guys' age, and my sister who's in the audience can attest to this, that I wouldn't have spoke on a stage at all. So it took me a lot of growing. I'm sure you've got some folks here in the audience supporting you. If you want to shout them out, show them some love.
Yes, my mother, who is an amazing Black woman and has supported me all the way. My grandmother, the president of the city council.
Which is right down there.
My father, who is over there and has been a great support and has been always been a nice shoulder to cry on, and someone who makes like the best F- rated dad jokes in the world. And all my friends and all my other family that couldn't be here today that have molded my family to make me who I am.
That's beautiful. We're making and celebrating Black history tonight. Thank you for joining us. Yep. Next up, our next artist, Melissa Peary. Melissa's a sophomore at Rogers High School and has submitted an essay called My Joyous Black Joy. Melissa tries to inspire friends to be the best selves, especially as people of color, because she knows so many are capable. Many know her mom, Megan Peary, and she will continue to follow in her mom's footsteps, along with making her own. As the youngest member on the Youth Advisory Board for Team Child, a junior All of Us or None member, and a junior member of the NAACP. She hopes that others will be inspired by her piece and is going to share an excerpt from Joyous Black Joy with us tonight.
Black joy can be put down and killed. Black joy can be diminished like it is nothing and everything less than anything human. Black joy is something to be proud of, something to shove in the faces of hatred and inhumane behavior towards people of color. Black joy is the hair on my head, the features on my face, the voice that says I'm here. Black joy is the very ground I walk on that was built from nothing and came from the black joy spawned many years ago. Black joy is the patterns on my back imported from Africa and shipped from the minds of very fragile and creative people, my people. Black joy is the people I came from, the people who express their feelings and exercise their rights to freedom. Black joy is the kitchen I cook in. Black joy smells like the comfort of soul food made from the sweat and blood and nothing else but love for everyone and anyone who can get their hands on the wholesome taste of heaven. Something greater than words itself. Black joy smells like the spices and herbs brought in from the spiciest and most exotic places on earth. Black joy smells like the castor oils imported from Jamaica and the shea butter found along the dry savanna belt near West and South Africa. Black joy is the traditions we celebrate and legacies we carry and pass on one after another, again and again. Black joy is the love we have for one another. Black joy is the unspoken loyalty shared amongst those identifying as Black or African. Black joy is sounds like the streets of hip-hop and R&B joined on a freeway, connecting and vibing. Black joy sounds like Brandy, Carl Thomas, Angela Day, Fantasia, and Leela James. Black joy sounds like SWV, TLC, Boyz II Men, Brian McKnight, Jaheim, Aaliyah, and Alicia Keys. Black joy sounds like John Legend, Thames, Ayra Starr, Outkast, Trey Songz, Usher, Keith Sweat, Prince, D'Angelo, Lucky Day, Maxwell, and Mary J. Blige. Black joy sounds like Kevin Ross, Erykah Badu, Neo, Monica, Coco Jones, Charlie Wilson, The Temptations, Sam Cooke, Ashanti, Keisha Cole, Soul For Real, and Michael Jackson. Black joy is watching your siblings who look like you and are around you learn what you learned around their age, that their identity is black joy and can be discriminated against, but not taken away for good, not without a fight. Black joy is the chants and noise from organizations and movements fighting for those who cannot fight for themselves. Black joy is thanks given to those who have went to war for their future family, not knowing if what they did was enough, but little do they know that it was enough, because now we get to have black joy as our own. Thank you.
I could really feel the connection with you reading those names, and I think music, one of the things you brought up, is just a strong connector. What inspired you to write that piece?
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of procrastinated and wrote this all in one go, and I was brainstorming all day, but I think a lot, and so I think that came in handy when I was coming up with this piece. And I just thought about myself and my family and what I like to listen to, what I know I share with my community, and I think that's what inspired me.
Yeah, and you speak quite a bit to family there and younger siblings and all of that. What is it about family that brings you black joy?
Me personally, it's my siblings, because they mean the world to me, and just the little things we do and laugh at and just goof around at Walmart and just things like that, and just representing ourselves and our happiness and letting that affect others in the most positive way.
One other thing I want to mention is you're involved in quite a few things here. Is there any information or advice that you'd give for folks who want to get involved in Spokane?
Yeah, I think trying a little bit of everything and dipping your toe in the water and trying things new, whether you might not like it at first, I think that's the key to happiness, because happiness doesn't come from just one thing, it comes from a little bit of everything. So.
Beautiful. And why don't you go ahead and shout out the folks here to support you? Give them
Thanks,
some love.
Panda, Keegan, Lily, Brett, Beatrice, Kim, my mom, and Stanley. Oh, and Dora.
Thank you for joining us, Melissa. Our next artist coming to the stage is Maya Jefferson. Maya is a sophomore at West Valley High School. She submitted an artwork called Joy Lives in the Little Things from Day to Day. Here we go. So tell us a little bit about this piece that you submitted.
For this piece, I put it as pink in the background because for me, pink I associate with femininity and my friendship and love for myself and for others. And most of the things I have are pink, so I chose that as my background. I chose my sports are up there, and really all the little things that matter to me are written in words, because for me, joy is the little things in life, because we only have so long to live, so everything matters.
I love that. And I see the pink, I see the theme here. So you've brought that with you today. You got some cute kicks on, cute skirt. So being a student out at West Valley, what do you have going on with currently in high school, and what are your goals after high school?
Right now, I'm trying to start our own BSU at West Valley because we don't have one, and our Black population is really little, so I want to unite the ones that we do have, with the help of my mom too. And then getting more into community, but we're also looking into running START because I'm a sophomore, so coming into that. And I wanted to go to the medical industry once I'm out of high school, so.
Awesome. You know, you mentioned, and your piece speaks to all these little things that bring you Black joy. What is something that brings you the most joy right now in your life?
Right now, it's actually, like I said, community and my family. I'm learning a lot from them, and they're pushing me outside of my comfort zone to learn to be, like, accept myself more and self-love. So that's kind of what's bringing me joy right now.
Well, we've talked to a few students who've submitted pieces in past years. Do you think you'll continue to be a part of the Black Voices and submit something next year?
Yes, I hope to.
Awesome. And as far as classes that you're taking out at West Valley, what do you do to support your creativity and, you know, build on that talent?
I'd probably say, like, writing for, like, my school. I just like to write in English because my teachers, she loves to read my work sometimes, so that's what I write.
Well, and speaking of writers, we are looking for writers with the Black lens, and high school and college students are definitely voices that we need to hear more from. I'm assuming you've got some folks maybe here supporting you. Is there anyone you want to shout out and give some love to?
I do. I have my mom and dad, Samira and Justin Jefferson, and then I have my siblings, Samir, Jelani, Jackson, Jefferson.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
All right, our next artist that we have, Alima Tombwe. Alima is a senior at Rogers High School, and she has submitted a poem entitled A Feeling That Lives Within You. Alima's from Bujumbura in Burundi, Africa. She's lived here in Spokane for 8 years. She's the first girl in her family who will attend college and dreams of getting a PhD in medicine. Alima is a dedicated student, loves to read and listen to music. I bet you heard some artists there a moment ago that maybe you're familiar with that you like to listen to. So let's hear your poem, if you could share that with us tonight.
All right. A feeling that lives within you. Hair entwined, resembling tree roots. Skin replicating nature's soil. Eyes embracing the night sky, radiating our galaxies. I've heard stories, books, histories documented to humiliate and conceal Black joy. Our skin and hair classified as unfit, unprofessional, nothing but a mess. Constant daily reminders of how inhuman we look. What once was styled as an escape route and buried with rice and kissed malnourished is now a garden filled with memories and laughter. Watching the older generation be withered from their beauty empowers our generation to embrace Mother Nature's charm and live our life to the fullest. Black joy is that feeling of being surrounded by the people of our community. That feeling of looking at how far our brothers and sisters, mothers, families, and friends have come to make all that we can do now possible. That feeling when all you can do is look around you and find others who are just like you. People who resemble you, resemble the same history as you, resemble the same experiences as you. Black joy is a feeling that lives within you.
Beautiful. such a strong, powerful message about beauty and beauty standards. I think what spoke to me about your piece there is you mentioned the prior generation maybe not being able to express their beauty and not have their beauty embraced. Do you feel that's changing?
It's changing just a little bit. You can still see it among the younger kids with skin bleaching, straightening hair to like it is fried hair, and also not really being confident in their own skin, where they feel the need to hide in other people's looks, and they changed a lot of their looks. Like I've seen it within the community that I grew up in. Yeah,
So you've seen it, I was gonna ask, in terms of if you've seen a change in like beauty standards, especially with Black women, where you're from, Burundi, right? And if that was different when you moved to Spokane.
Yeah, where I came from, there was it was always straight hair and paler skin. So I literally grew up with a whole bunch of skin whitening products in my household. Straightening hair, I had straight hair all the way up till middle school, till I started to really actually like my curls in buntu knots and braids. And I just no longer had the desire to bleach my skin or straighten my hair. It was so tiresome. I just wanted to be myself.
So embracing that natural beauty and building that confidence, is that something that you have been working on? Is that something you have any tips or advice that you could share?
I don't really, but I recently have been in my lock hair journal, so I'm trying to really love my hair. And also, I don't worry about how dark my skin is or how it looks like this, it looks like that. It just doesn't really matter.
Well, and we touched on earlier too how our Black community is a spectrum of beauty, right? From light to dark, different hair textures, different curl patterns. So I think shining a light on that, having a conversation about that is important, helping people talk about it and normalizing that conversation so people can feel more comfortable, build that confidence. So what is something, when you wrote your piece, what are some of the things that you thought of that bring you Black joy in your day-to-day life?
Things that bring me Black joy in my daily life would be being surrounded by those that are like either like me or they just have like similar experiences as me. Like BSU at Rogers, it just really, you feel really connected with the students there. And you get to talk about either struggles or accomplishes, things that you could do to help those within your community to feel seen and connected. And it's just a really great place to be in.
Well, that sense of community, that sense of belonging, having a BSU, and we're hearing it, we've heard it more than once tonight, folks, right? Having these BSUs at the schools, having the opportunity to even build a step team that could perform like we saw tonight. And then the representation factor, the more people you see that look like you and you see a spectrum of beauty, you can find yourself in that. And I really appreciate you for coming out and sharing tonight.
Thank you.
Do you have any folks here supporting you that you want to shout out and give some love to?
Yes, I have my friend Stumai. She really helped me with brainstorming a lot. Also, Miss Egley, she encouraged me to submit my piece here. I was really unsure, but I'm glad that she encouraged me to do it, and I was able to do so.
Well, and we appreciate it because we made for a beautiful paper here. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got our next artist, Aisha Rodriguez, coming to the stage. Aisha is a sophomore at Shadle High School, and she has submitted an artwork entitled Joy in the Overcoming. Beautiful piece here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your piece and what inspired it?
I think that kind of perspective inspired it because you don't really get to see the understanding of what being an African American is like, especially if you're not the darkest person in the community or even the lightest. I think being able to look at yourself and know that you belong, and no matter how dark or how light you are, that you're still part of that community and that's who you are. And even if, seeing all those things being posted on social media or in newspapers or just being said to you can affect you because your beauty is still from within and it is to be visually seen and not from what other people say.
I hear a lot of truth in that I can relate to. So we see this woman and her hair, right? So what is it in the hair that, in terms of the pieces, what is it that you used or inspired you to pull these specific texts or headlines that you used for the collage?
So I think a lot of those headlines just, when I was looking through all these newspapers, just they're very vulgar and very outsetting for someone to hear. For someone to hear those kinds of things about them and their community is a lot. It is a big kind of self-changing moment. But to be able to look at those things and realize from deep and within that it's not true is also a very big moment for yourself. And I feel like putting it in her hair, because as it's been said earlier today, our hair is probably one of the biggest things that a lot of us struggle with. Besides color, I feel like the beauty that's seen within her isn't just from, what other people say. And so being able to put in all those things that people say that aren't the best things, but then still have her radiating is kind of just the whole point of the art piece.
One of the things I'm hearing too is this whole questioning our beauty, right?
Yeah.
Right, and what beauty standards are supposed to look like and what a Black woman should look like, right?
Right.
And I think you brought up again this spectrum of beauty that we have from the lightest to the darkest and the different hair textures and curl patterns, right?
Yeah.
As far as, your experience in school, like what are the things that kind of drive you every day in finding Black joy that inspires you to create something like that?
I'm going to be very honest with you. Miss April Eberhardt is probably one of the biggest people to help me reach out and learn about my history, let alone learn about who I am as a person. So being able to branch out in many other things is really amazing, especially being Mexican and African American. I feel like being able to touch on every aspect of my culture is very important. So.
Yeah, I think that speaks a little bit to knowing where you come from, really helps build that sense of belonging and make you confident in who you are and where you're going, right? So tell us a little bit about what you're doing now and where you're planning to go after high school.
Well, I'm a sophomore at Shadle, so I'm not doing much except for trying to pass all my classes. And
but I heard you had some, goals and dreams maybe.
Yeah, I am all over the place, but I want to be a lawyer like the amazing Natasha Hill up here.
That was not part of the prompt, but thank you. I did know the interest was there from Miss Eberhardt.
Yeah, it's always been kind of something I've loved to push because if you know me well, you know I really like to argue, like a lot. So being able to do that as a career and being able to help people at the same time probably is the best job you could have.
Well, I can attest to that being true. And every artist is going to need great representation in order to protect their artwork. I'm sure you've got some folks here tonight that are here to support if you want to show some love and shout them out.
Yeah, so my amazing artistic dad is here, and my mom sadly couldn't make it, but she should know that she is my inspiration for a lot of things. And Miss Eberhardt, definitely, for sure, and her whole family, because they're amazing, too.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for sharing tonight.
Thank you.
All right, we have our last artist coming to the stage, Donalda Brantley. Donalda is a senior at Rogers High School and student representative for the Washington State Board of Education. Donalda is also a veteran here with the Spokane Black Voices Symposium because she also submitted a piece last year and presented What Molds the Future. So we are excited to hear tonight the poem that she submitted, Trials Are the Joy of Tomorrow.
Thank you. Trials are the joy of tomorrow. Joy is not just found in success, but it is found in my deepest failures. Not just beauty and perfection, but insecurities and displacement. I was given this gift from God, not just for myself, but to share with others. Joy is not lost, but is kept with perseverance. Not just delights and pleasure, but with grit and triumph. I've been given trials and tribulations. I've been given trauma and distaste. But most importantly, I've been given power to overcome. I've been given joy, an everlasting power that never leaves. I know hurt and pain, but I know love and care. I know abandonment and manipulation, but I know God is always there. I know perseverance and determination can be exhausting, but the reward of getting through it is the best rest of all. I know that tears can feel like an ocean that you've been swimming as this strong, independent Black woman for so long, but your power to hold on is your strongest power. Joy is not dependent. That's why it's there regardless of the storm. So let me tell you again, joy is not just found in success, but in my deepest failures too. I know that happy or sad, I can still laugh. I know mad or glad, I know there's joy that I still have.
I think there's a lot of insight and maturity that I hear in your piece when you read that. Being able to have that perspective that you can find joy in your failures and what you learned from that is really, really beautiful. Were there any specific things that really inspired you to call that out and bring that into your piece?
Well, being a senior, I would say that there's a lot of mistakes and failures and a lot of things that you have to go through, and just things in my personal life really inspired me to just try to focus on the good things instead of always looking at the bad.
And I hear in your piece as you talk about power and having power and that bringing joy and where that power can come from. And so I think that, again, that insight and power coming from some of our darker places, our resiliency, and as Black women, the strength that we're supposed to have, but balancing that with finding that joy. Tell me if you agree with this then. As far as waiting, is your piece also saying we shouldn't wait for it? We should always look and find that joy wherever we're at?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I find that patience is something I really do not have. But I've learned to wait, especially in these trying times as I'm growing up and becoming an adult, that sometimes waiting is okay, and that if you have to wait for something, that you can still get through it. But it doesn't hurt to go out there and find certain opportunities that will bring you joy.
Yeah, especially along the way, right? Because we sometimes do. We have those trials and tribulations. As far as where you're at right now, I know you're involved in sports, you're planning for college. Tell us what you got going on now, but also what you're planning here in the future when you graduate.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned in my little bio, I'm still a student representative, so it's my second year doing that, which I love. I got to visit the Capitol on Martin Luther King Day, which was really awesome. So, and then just like certain opportunities like this that I enjoy doing now, and I actually just came from basketball practice, but yeah. And then for the future, I really want to become a fashion designer and study business and communications, and I hope to do that at Savannah College of Art and Design, which I recently got accepted into.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Now that's some Black joy that we can celebrate tonight for sure. Again, success is, finding these moments, and we really appreciate you being here tonight and sharing this piece with us. As I mentioned, somebody who's done this more than once, do you have any words for folks who haven't submitted, who haven't been part of this, or coming back again next year?
Yeah, actually, this year I was really scared to submit my work because I was like, oh, I already did it last year, maybe it won't be good enough. But I'd say just go for it and, write from your heart. And even if it's last minute, that honestly makes it better because you know that it's truthful. And honestly, I had a mistake in here, but because it was last minute, but that's how you know it's real.
That's right. That's how you know it's real. Well, I'm sure you've got some folks here supporting that you want to shout out and show some love to tonight.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I invited like almost all my teachers, so I'm not gonna go through the whole list, but thank you all that came. And my amazing, handsome black boyfriend is here, and my amazing, beautiful black friend Cherish is here as well. And I had some other friends that weren't able to make it, I don't think, but I'm really thankful for them and just everyone who has been a rock for me and been there for me during these trying times in my life. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, you are our last artist, and I didn't get a cue, but can I bring them all on stage and we can just celebrate them one more time, give them a round of applause. So are they available to come back out? Come back up? Okay, yeah. As a photographer, this is a great photo op.
All right, so if you are a parent or a grandparent and you want to get up closer to take a photo, let's not be subtle. Let's get up there and do this.
Let's have everybody in front of just come over right in front of the
Black Joy
so
sign?
right about here, and then.
Do you want us in front of here?
Yeah, let's. We can move the mics out of the way.
The wild thing is he does this at my birthday parties too. Just moves everything. It's leg day. All right. Let's get a photo of everybody waving too. Let's get a good waving photo. Everybody, wave. Yeah, April. Get closer, get over there, get in there. All right. Yeah, get that photo. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, so we have a few quick things to tell you. What's next? We're not done celebrating the Black Lens. We're doing it all weekend. And on February 6th, we're going to host the Sound of Black Music. And this is the musical you didn't know you needed. Let's just say this choir kicks the crap out of the nun choir.